Hi, welcome to the LP Texas Candidate Highlight, where we shine a light on those sharing the message of liberty and wanting to change Texas politics. I'm Amanda Gibbs with the Comms Department, and my co host is Nathan Polsky, who does a little bit of everything in LP Texas.
All right, and so welcome. My name is Nathan Polsky. We've got Amanda Gibbs, and with us tonight we have Ed Kless. So Ed, I've known you for several years now. My former chair for my Collin County Libertarian Party, but you're running for office. What are you running for?
I am. I just learned this today. I am the only one running for Texas Senate in the state of Texas this time.
Yep, a lot of House districts and a lot of congressional districts this year.
But no, and I'm running against Angela Paxton. So
Oh, fun.
high profile opponent. I ran against her husband, 8 years ago. We could have saved the state a whole bunch of problems if they had just elected me back then. But no.
They had their chance.
They had their chance.
Maybe they'll learn.
Maybe. I doubt it, but it's possible. No, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed running, but I'm not running as an active campaign as I did previously. I'm really mostly running because I'm super PO'd about the filing fee and absolutely refuse to pay that. I think and I want to be part of any lawsuit, so bring it on. I hope we get a ruling on the merits this time, because the previous two times they've been able to sidestep it and talk about some technicality, but we need a ruling on the merits of this because it's clearly unconstitutional as far as I'm concerned. But let's not get into that. Let's talk about some other more fun things.
So, Ed, what inspired you to run the first times and now?
Mostly, I run to give people a choice. I do a riff on a great Milton Friedman quote that I believe that the purpose of the Libertarian Party is to keep the ideas of liberty alive, so that when the politically impossible becomes the politically inevitable, the ideas are still around to be picked up and used, and will be able to help us out of the craziness that will someday occur. Maybe not in my lifetime, maybe November. I don't know. It's fine. It could be any time, but we have to be ready for that. I'm a big believer in what is called non-anxious leadership. I think that part of our biggest challenge is that both parties ramp up the anxiety, and as a result, we have become less creative as a society. And because anxiety and creativity are always inversely proportional to each other. The more anxious you or a system is, the less creative it can be. So the more that we can amp up our creativity, the better off we are. And we can only do that if we lower our anxiety. Here's the problem. Running on the I am the most non-anxious candidate is not a big sell. Because sadly, what the parties want, and what a lot of the public then ultimately wants, is they want to ramp up the anxiety. They get off on the dislike and distemper of the other side. Heard a really interesting concept that I never really thought about it this way. But you ever talk to somebody and say, "Hey, I want you to go see some movie, right? Mm-hmm. that you really like," and if they go see it, you like it when they like what you like. Mm-hmm. So people like it when they like what you like. But you know what we detest even more is when you don't hate what we hate. That really makes us angry, right? If you don't hate what I hate, that makes us really angry. And I think that that's what they're tapping into right now, is that you're not hating what I hate. And I find that completely distasteful. And I want to change that. And if I can do that just by participating in some select conversations and lower the level of anxiety, then I think I'm doing my job.
Awesome. So let's say then you win. Libertarian candidate wins in Texas.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 priorities as a Texas senator?
To figure out how much legislation we can repeal.
I'm all for that.
Yes. So I actually have this idea. It would be the one expansion of government that I would be in favor of, and that is to create a third house at every level. So this would be from school district, from the city council, all the way on up to the federal government. There should be a third legislative branch, and should be known as the House of Repeal. The only thing that these people can do is repeal existing laws. That's the only thing they can do, and they can do it with a simple majority.
Oh my gosh, I want to move to your district right now.
So that's the idea. So if we can get the House of Repeal into the Texas Constitution. No, in all seriousness, repealing legislation is the key. How can we make it less restrictive, especially for businesses? I hope that Texas is not going by the way of what we're seeing happening down in Florida right now, with them saying that you can't, create the meatless meat or whatever. That's like, this is stifling innovation and creativity. How cruel is it, by the way, to say we are not going to allow meat to be produced in our state unless we kill an animal? It's like unfathomable to me.
You have to harm things.
I saw
we
that
must harm things.
I was flabbergasted that a Republican was saying that you can't have business here.
No, I know, and it's not just DeSantis either. I mean, Trump is, and I think there's a difference between being pro-business and pro-market. I am pro-market, right? Not pro-business. And I think that, but the problem is unfortunately so many people are there. What DeSantis is clearly is he's anti-market, right? He doesn't want the market to exist, and he's pro-business in that he's protecting the cattle ranchers in the state of Florida for protectionism. So that's clear what's going on there.
The ones that are donating to him.
Yeah, well,
Of course.
Yeah. We have that problem all over. Did you see the legislation that was in California with the sandwich shops?
Yes.
This is great. So they passed a law that said that you had to have the $25 an hour. I forget what the actual wage was for these
For the minimum wage.
the fast food joints,
Yep.
right? Unless you sold bread
that you
made
Yeah.
on premises. That was an exception.
That's absurd.
No. The
a
one
reason
exception
for
was, of
madness.
course, is that it exempted Panera Bread, and the owner of the largest franchisees of Panera Bread is a friend of Governor Newsom.
I believe he also donated a lot of money to the governor as well to get that passed.
Yes.
And so now you've got fast food joints that are just producing like one loaf of bread a day, so they don't have to pay the minimum wage of $25 an hour.
Crazy.
Good Lord.
So anyway, House of Repeal. Remember it. Everybody loved that one. Everybody loves that one.
I really loved how you explained the creativity and what was that
Anxiety.
word?
Anxiety
Yeah,
and
because
creativity.
As a creative, I have never felt more seen with you explaining that.
Well, but you know what? Interestingly enough, Amanda, it doesn't even necessarily have to be quote creative person. The best example of that story that I've ever heard is Chesley Sullenberger. Remember, he was the captain who landed the plane in the Hudson River, right? He's a great example of a non-anxious person, a non-anxious leader. There's a great interview. You can find this on YouTube of Katie Couric was interviewing Chesley Sullenberger. And at one point she says to him, "Captain Sullenberger, did you pray?" And he says, "No, ma'am. There were 142 people behind me taking care of that." He said, "My job," I love this, "my job was to successfully crash the aircraft." And I love that phrase, successfully crash the aircraft. He didn't land it. He successfully crashed it. And because he was non-anxious, he lowered his anxiety. He figured out a creative solution to the problem, because if he wasn't creative, he would have tried to go back to LaGuardia and crashed into probably people, or try to fly over to New Jersey and would have killed people on the ground in Teterboro, same thing. So he came up with this creative solution. But I love this notion of successfully crashing. So what do we need to do in government? What are the things that we need to successfully crash? A great example would be Social Security, Medicare, the whole welfare state thing. the idea that we would go in and on day one rip it out is nonsense. You can't possibly do that.
It's not logical.
No, and it's quite frankly, it's aggressive, right? It's against the non-aggression principle to say that we're going to completely rip it out day one. It goes away immediately tomorrow, right? That's absurd. So, but what we do and can and should do is come in with our plan to say this is how we are going to successfully crash it. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, I love that.
Here's your 6-month warning.
That's 6 months, 6 year, whatever it is. Whatever we need to do to wind it down, this is our plan to successfully crash it, to make as many people as we can whole, but rip it out from the root. And this is the idea of a radical idea. We rip it out from the root and restore what is rightfully should be in place.
I want to make a shirt now.
We're libertarians. We're good at that. We're good at making shirts. We can make a lot of shirts. We're good at that.
Successfully crash the government.
All right, so you're running against Angela Paxton.
Yes.
Who else are you running against, and what does Ed Kless bring to the table that sets you apart from your competition?
There is a Democrat, I believe, in the race, and I did participate in the League of Women Voter Forum. I forget what the other person's name is. You know, the Democrat in Collin County has about as much chance as the Libertarian, so which I always think is quite interesting. But look, I've talked about this. What sets me apart is the ideas. It's a notion of the ideas that what we bring to bear, and it's not just me. It's all of the libertarians who are running in the state of Texas. We want to fundamentally change the way that we think about our relationship to government and what it should be, and it's got to start somewhere. And if not now, when? And if not me, who? So.
Cool.
I can totally see why y'all vibed.
We do great in our county.
We have a fun county. We really do. We're very blessed.
No drama, right?
Little drama, very
Y'all
low
have
drama.
drama up there?
There's drama from time to time. It comes it's come up and down,
hang on.
but for the most part,
I'm in
it's
Harris County. We had
No, you were the drama queen for a long time.
I'm pretty sure they still are, but anyways, all right. Let's see what we got here. You said you did an interview with the League of Women Voters. How do you plan on engaging? So when Ed wins, how do you plan on engaging with your constituents on what they want from a Texas senator?
Well, once I revive them after the shock of me winning, that'll be the first step. No, I think. Look, I'm not going to involve most of the constituents that if I were to talk to them would not agree to what I want to do. So this is where the notion of representative government comes into play. You know, there's two theories of representative government. One is that you are elected by a group of people to represent the interest of that group at and you should do their bidding. You should effectively do their bidding for them. The other is you've been elected for your moral character, for what you believe in, and you should do what you think is right. And if they don't like it, they can unelect you 4 years or 2 years later. I subscribe to the latter. So that if elected, I'm going to do what I think is right, and if you don't like it, then unelect me. Then don't reelect me in 4 years. So what that will mean, though, and it means a practical art of compromise with as many other legislators as we possibly can to repeal as much legislation as can possibly be repealed. And we can look for stupid stuff and start on little wins. I'm pretty sure there was once a website, I wish I would find it, that it was all of the states, like these stupid laws that exist and all of the states are still around. Well, one of them that's in Texas, and here'd be a no-brainer, is it's illegal to have a pair of pliers in your glove box.
Welcome to Texas. Stupid Texas laws 101.
That law was still on the books. You can't. Oh no, it was pliers and wire cutters. Can't have that. And the whole thing was for cattle ranchers. They didn't want people going down and cutting down the fences. but it's illegal in the state of Texas to have pliers and wire cutters in your glove box. Okay, let's repeal that. We can successfully think, okay, that one, we can get rid of that law right now. That wouldn't be a no-brainer. But I'll give you another one that is more relevant. In the state of Texas, you need a license to shampoo someone else's hair. Really? Really?
Yes.
Does that
And
include
they
your
make them
spouse?
do classes like every year for like 60 hours.
Yeah, because there's such new innovations in the shampoo technology that's got.
It's
Yeah.
a new method to shampoo somebody's hair, and you've got to know it.
I would actually look to repeal as much licensure as we possibly can. I think reputation is far more important than even licensure. And I actually have an internet radio show that I talk about professional firms in, and we did a show a couple weeks ago on this notion. We got to get rid of these professional licensures across the board. The state of Washington is looking at doing it for lawyers, which I think would be great. It's fantastic. So. But yeah, so professional licensure, let's start with the shampoos, but work our way all the way up to, lawyers and doctors and accountants. The reputation is far more important than anything that the piece of paper that the state can give them. Let people do what they need to do. And I think this is where we'll get innovation and creativity going. I believe, this is my why, by the way, I believe that entrepreneurs continue the work of creation and that the purpose of business is human flourishing. And we have to foster this as best we can, and we foster this as best we can by getting the hell out of the way. That's how we do it.
Absolutely. Awesome.
I'm like fangirling over here just a little bit.
You're more than welcome to come up to one of our county meetings, and I'm sure Ed'll be more than happy to talk to you for
I
however long.
totally will.
All right, so you've run for a couple times now.
Yeah.
What experience do you have that you could bring to the table if elected?
Yeah, my experience in business as a consultant, I bill myself as a meta consultant because I primarily consult to people who do consulting, which is kind of weird. It's a weird gig.
Sounds awesome.
yeah, no, it's fun, but one of the things that I think is important, and this I think relates to some of the other questions that you've asked tonight too. One of the things that I try to instill on the people that I consult with is replace advice with curiosity. Try less to give advice to people and be more curious about them. And I think if we had politicians, if we had people in power who are more curious about what's going on rather than imposing what they believe on others, that we would all be much better off. So if collectively what we could do is to get folks in the state legislature to be more curious about what's going on and learn what's happening in the lives of other people, they would be less apt to want to impose what they want to do on someone else. Now, would it be perfect? No. Would all of them embrace it? No. But that's the place to start. And that's what I think that we can bring to bear. And I think that's what differentiates me, Nathan, is that I have experience doing that. I've been doing that in business for the last 30 years. Awesome. Asking lots of questions.
Questions are always good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
I wish my my senator would at least answer my calls or emails. He hates libertarians so much. I've got Mays Middleton, and he likes to lie about libertarians and what we do. So get you there and show him.
Yes. Yeah. Have you tried to even arrange meetings? He won't take meetings with you at all.
I went to Austin several times during the last session because
and said, "Hey, listen, I want to."
Right, and his staff wouldn't even talk to me, but I look like a lefty, and so they just want it. It's okay. I can still send emails.
There you go. Keep at it.
All right, Amanda, you got any more questions?
We can ask somebody wants to learn more information about you. Where can they go? And if they want to donate, where can they do that?
Well, I am in the process of getting the website up. Actually, Nathan's going to help me with that. I have had websites in the past, so I do have the URL, which is electkless.com. electkless.com. But if folks want to learn more about me specifically, they can go to edkless.com for now, and there'll be a link on there. You can see about what some of the things that I'm doing. But I am really easy to find. I mentioned before we started recording that my parents were really into differentiation. I am the only Ed Kless in the world, and yes, I do check every so often that that's the case. So if you Google or whatever, search Ed Kless, you will find me. I promise you that.
Awesome. All right, well, I don't have any more questions. Ed, do you have anything else you want to say before we end here?
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to talk to you tonight and share this message, and hopefully we get this promoted out. And if we can instill some of these ideas, I think that's what's going to be important. We really do have this mission to keep these ideas alive, because they're going to be needed someday. So let's keep them going.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Ed. For everybody else who's watching, look forward to seeing more of these videos coming out with more of our candidates across the state, and for elections coming up here in November.
Thanks.